Hey friends, I have a great episode for you today. Today is titled SUSD, the one where parents fact-checked SUSD. So please bear with me. I don't know how to edit video. I'm going to try to do it here on the fly and show you we're going to use some multimedia, but it's not going to be pretty. My apologies in advance. I want to show you a couple of examples of how we've been misled over the last 12 months, and I only picked out a couple things because, let's be honest, we could spend several days fact-checking the district and it's not going to get us anywhere, but I want you to pay attention. I want you to see this and start listening to every single word that Scott Menzel and the governing board say to us in these board meetings, because it's not translating to real life. So here's an example. Today we received the data back from the pooled testing. So that wasn't made available to the public. It wasn't posted, but one of our parents submitted a public records request and got that information back. Now this is Dr. Scott Menzel on 8/24 during the governing board meeting at timestamp 2:42. Listen.
Asymptomatic cases and move more quickly to avoid spread within our schools. And what we found is that 46% of the respondents, and we had more than 6,500 parents respond to that survey, 46% said no, they're not interested.
Now, it doesn't matter what percentages are. He's saying more than 6,500 parents responded to that survey. Here are the survey results. 660 parents responded. He's claiming 6,500 parents responded to that pooled survey. Okay, next up. Last year, in the September 18th board meeting, the governing board approved the purchase of 800 cameras at an approximate cost of $908,000. Just 2 months later, November 4th, the school board approved an additional purchase of 660 cameras at $770,000. So, see here, $770,000. This is all in the meeting notes, $908,000. Now, that's $1.7 million. Now listen to Dr. Guerin on September 18th as they justified the recommendation and the request for those cameras.
Question about when this is over, and who knows when that will be. We're not going to unlearn all of these new skills, and we're really moving our practice forward. And there's always times when students are absent, or when a student didn't understand a lecture and like to watch it again. If I was a parent and I could watch my son's Algebra 3-4 lecture in the evening with him when he has questions with his homework, and we can help go through it together, that would be such a great tool for us, pandemic or not. So I see this being a feature that's going to take us into the future for intervention for students that are absent. And also, we're looking at ways that teachers can share instruction, share lectures, learn from each other, really open up the classrooms from behind the doors in our virtual world.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Okay, so that's what we were told. That's what we as parents were told, that the approval of that $1.7 million in cameras was going to be not just for COVID, but beyond. Now, what we learned since then, when we specifically asked Scott Menzel about being able to audit a classroom and listen to what's being taught in the classroom, I was told that that's actually a violation of FERPA. So, which is there's an acronym for that, and I've forgotten it right now, but it violates students' privacy in the classroom. So they spent $1.7 million on cameras that are now collecting dust. So when they came out with this instructional model or whatever it is, it didn't include camera times, although you have Dr. Guerin right there saying that this is going into the future. And this is what I'm talking about saying one thing and doing another. And we've got to hold these people accountable. Scott Menzel himself has said people don't have time to watch the board meetings. And when we don't, they do this to us. Now, another fact, Jan Michael Greenberg, board president, has gone to the media and said that 70% of families in the Scottsdale Unified School District support mandatory masks. Now, I wasn't surveyed. I don't think anybody else was surveyed. They have the ability to survey families. They didn't do it. What he later said was that he took the emails that he was receiving and estimated that 70% of those emails were in favor of a mask mandate. Well, let me tell you, I didn't send an email to him. I try not to give him oxygen, but here's the deal. I didn't send an email asking for a mask mandate because I thought that the school district was going to follow the law that was in effect, that was going to ban masks until 9/29. I didn't know that as a parent, I needed to voice my choice about mask mandates by sending Jan Michael Greenberg an email. But apparently that's how we make decisions in this school district. So what I'm going to ask you to do is please reach out to the school district, send an email to the school board, send an email to Scott Menzel, make your voices heard and call them out on these inaccuracies. Because I'm going to tell you a fact. In my email box, 100% of people support the resignation of Jan Michael Greenberg. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will be back later with more inaccuracies.